Randall Stephenson, the CEO of at&t, joins us right here on ET Now in Davos. Thanks very much for being with us. It's a cold winter afternoon here in Davos, but I want to specifically speak to you about the telecom landscape around the world and more specifically in India. There is a lot of noise about call drops. There is a lot of noise about the cost of spectrum being high, not enough investments being made by telecom operators. You have the advantage of seeing things far more objectively than perhaps a lot of stakeholders in India. How do you see the Indian telecom landscape right now?
So I'm no expert on India,
That's
obviously. Right. I've spent some time there, but I don't see India differently than any other market in the United States. You want high-quality mobile networks, you need a couple of things. You need good spectrum depth, good spectrum footprint that's allocated in a way that the carriers can put it to good use. You have to be smart about how you allocate spectrum. And the second is make sure you have tax laws and a regulatory environment that is conducive to investment, because it takes amazing amounts of investment to make high-quality wireless networks work. As you know, we're doing this in Mexico now. We're building a network from scratch. We started out with good spectrum depth. The Mexican government did a very nice job of giving us good spectrum depth, and now we're investing aggressively.
So do you believe, and are you somebody who shares the concern that investments in India are stalled because there is very little spectrum that's being handed out to operators, and that's one of the reasons why quality of service suffers there? Is that a concern you share as a global player in telecom, particularly for India?
Again, I'm not intimate with the India situation. I will tell you as an operator, if you don't start with a good, deep block of spectrum, nationwide, whatever you're trying to cover, you cannot cost effectively invest in good quality service. So it starts with spectrum policy. You've got to get that right.
You know, India is making a lot of noise about Digital India initiative, getting people, the unmapped people online, the broadband connectivity. A lot of that really depends on spectrum, and like you rightly spoke about. But I want to specifically speak to you about this whole 4G, the data drive in India that the government is trying to push. What are some of the things that it's incumbent upon, and more specifically, what are the global lessons that India can learn when it wants to get the offline load online?
Get the offline load online. Well, it all flows from the same place, right? I mean, if you can't get to 4G without the same basic principles we spoke of earlier, spectrum depth and network investment. But the world is now moving to 5G. 4G is matured around the globe. In the United States, it's very mature. It's covering the entire United States. We're deploying it in Mexico. Our work now is getting the standards right for 5G.
That's right.
And countries need to be moving ahead with this, or they're going to be left behind.
One last question on India, and before I let you go, and that really is on the cost of investments in India. You know, 4G is a space that everybody is excited about, but 4G is also a space where there are way too many operators. You've got a Reliance Jio coming in, you've got an Airtel, a Vodafone, some of the operators that you work with more directly. So my larger question is that, in an environment like that, obviously pricing is going to be an issue, and pricing power is not with the Indian telecom operators. What would you say for a market like India, where there is bottom tariff, rock bottom tariff, and still very cutthroat competition?
Look, if you're a public policy maker in any country, you have to balance the need between low price and high quality. And where is it that you want to be? You can't have both. You can't have hyper-aggressive competition with multiple players and high-quality, deep intensity of investment in the networks. And so as a policymaker, you have to make a decision, and it's a conscious decision that must be made.
Telecom operators around the world, and I want to take it more big picture right now, are under a lot of accusations as far as net neutrality is concerned. It's a big debate around the world. If you speak to the operators, they say that you cannot treat the over-the-top content providers at par with, you should treat them at par with us. Which side of the whole net neutrality debate are you on? Do you believe there is a lot of noise and some very intelligent communication is perhaps being drowned under the noise around it?
Yeah, I don't make an argument about net neutrality per se. You need to define what that means. Do I believe networks should be open for all players? Sure. Do I believe that there should not be prioritization of networks for very selective people on the network? Sure, I completely agree with that. But you can carry this argument to places that, it gets outside of the net neutrality debate. So I'll stop right there at that point.
Thank you very much, Randall, for talking to us. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.